Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 6. We are at round number 14, just 3 more rounds to go until the end of the season, and the championship is really hotting up. We head to Albert Park in Melbourne today for the Australian Grand Prix. It has hosted many championship openers since, well, it exists really, apart from last year, where we saw Austria held the season opener. And it could be the very race where we see how many people could still be in the championship fight. My name is Jess, one of your commentators for this evening, and this track has been the home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. Circuit configuration hasn't changed much, apart from obviously this year, where turns 9 and 10 has changed quite significantly, which should be very, very intriguing to say the least. Looking forward to seeing how that affects the racing. Probably less overtakes, but there we go. So we'll look at the track at its current configuration anyway. So the track is 5.4 kilometers long, 16 turns, 6 to the left, 10 to the right, 3 DRS straight, and we got 1 at start finish straight, 1 between turn 2 and 3, and 1 between turn 12 and 14. I think that's the main action zone tonight. And watch out for this track, that it could be very bumpy with several spots on the track where drivers require good traction and a reactive front end to allow them to chuck it into a corner. So without further ado, we're going to go through the standings after last week. We saw Glock win in Canada, which was an amazing win for him. Carl finished in second and Jamie finished in third, which means that they will be the ones we'll be doing the 2-stop this week around Australia. So driver standings. It's mainly really, well, I think technically it can be, only be between 2 drivers in the championship. Mata and Carl are the 2 championship contenders. Carl needs to pull off another good result like he did last week in order to stay in that fight. He closed the gap to Mata last week, so I wonder what he's going to do this week. So Mata first, 243. Second, Carl, 218. Third is Speed Knighton, 142. Fourth is Brandon, 107, joint with Ryan Berry in 5th. 6th is last week's race winner, Glock, with 102. 7th is Red Matt on 97. 8th is Iceman on 73. 9th is Akon with 68. Now we got M. Ryan on 64. Jamie on 63. Risky on 58. Yuri on 41. Ahmed on 38. Niels on 38. Tony on 34. Kev on 33. Newgarden on 31 points. Lee on 18. And Logan on 10 points. Looking at your constructor standings, we got Yellow that's leading the way with 436 points, closely followed by Green. Actually, not closely followed by Green, because it's almost a 100-point gap between those two, on 355. Third is Blue, 353. Fourth is Pink, 301. And 5th is Red, with 209 points. So I'm intrigued to see how this is all going to go for the race then, in terms of if people are going to make mistakes. We're going to watch out for the action zones very, very closely tonight, because we do know that Australia could provide some safety cars. I have seen that in many situations. So I wonder how that's going to play out for them. Also, don't forget turn 3 as well. The DRS straight is another action zone. It can be quite interesting as well. I would say turn 9 and 10 potentially, and probably turn 7 and 8 as well. I think those are the main things to watch out for. There was quite a few things that happened as well around here. There's been many incidents such as Ralph Schumacher in 2002, Martin Brundle in 96. Who remembers that crash? Luckily, Martin Brundle walked away unscathed, which was quite surprising to say the least. So I wonder, I hope we don't see any instance like that extravagant, but there we go. So just a quick information, we've got Panos in tonight, who is going to be one of the reserve drivers for tonight. I only have 16 drivers on the grid, but I'm sure that's still going to provide some entertaining racing nonetheless. We've got 3 compounded tyres used for tonight's race. I need to actually get a quick reminder of what those tyres are. So I don't have the tyres written in front of me. It's in my other spreadsheet, which I should have pulled off from the previous one, but I forgot because I'm an idiot. Stupid Jess. So the tyres we've got are the C4s, the C3s and the C2s. The softs can last around about 12 laps, medium 17 and hard 23 laps. And also we got the inters and the full wets should there be required. So, I know you want to have some action here today. I definitely do. So let's get cracking. So here we go. A nice sunny day here at Albert Park at the moment. But who knows what the weather may throw in store, as we did see the changeable conditions, well, the wet conditions last week in Canada. But it hardly ever rains in Australia in real life. But it may be different in the game, but we have to wait and see. I do not check the weather in the chat. I try to keep the chat minimised until we get to, obviously, the race, of course, because I want it to be a surprise for me and a surprise for you. So now, the most important thing, one-shot qualifying now. Let's go on board with our newest driver, Panos, as he makes it through turn 1. Brake at the 100-metre board on the left-hand side of the track, just to get some maximum speed. After the second DRS straight, your braking point in is a break of the wall on your left shortly after the 100-metre board. Heading towards turn 4 and 5. Swing to the left-hand side as far as you can to open up the line for it. Heading towards turn 6 and 7 coming up. Very similar to turns 1 and 2. You want to cut some of the inside curb at 6 and run along the exit curb through turn 7. Now you go towards turn 9 now. Brake shortly after the 100-metre board, but brake before the wall on the left. Make sure you don't spin out here, as we've seen quite a few people spin that in the car there. Heading towards turn 10 now. Swing to the left and to the right. 11 and 12, which is almost common to bin the car. Luckily, you almost didn't do that, and it's not in the wall, which is good. Heading towards turn 13. As with most curves of this track, it's best to have neither of your wheels running along the actual curbing as you put the power down, as that's what tends to basically head your car into the wall. Now heading towards the final corner. One as close as you can to the left. And what is it going to be? It is going to be pole position for Panos with a 120.206. Pretty good lap time from him. Quite a few disqualifications already. I wonder if people hit the walls of turn 12 potentially. We shall see. We do have one qualifying ban though, I believe. So I'll need to double check who that was. I can't remember who got it. I think it was M. Ryan. M. Ryan had the quali ban from last week. I will go through the stewards' results in a second, but let's keep a close eye on the results. Panos got pole by 1/10 of a second over championship contender Kyle in P2. Glock is in third with 120.8. Fourth is Pete with a 120.9. Mato in fifth with a 121.3. Only one or two drivers inside the top 10 on the medium compounded tyres. Sixth is Newgarden, 7th is Brandon, 8th is Niels, 9th is Ryan Berry, and 10th is Jay Luke. Then we have Lee, who's the only one else to say a lap time. Everyone else got disqualified or had a quali ban, which is Yuri, Ahmed, Tony, Akon, and M. Ryan. And we have Red Matt joining us as well. He joined just in time. He's warned us, though, that he hasn't put any practice into this race. So we'll have to wait and see how well he does. A last two challenge for Red Matt. For some drivers in VSL, it has worked well. And for some drivers, it has not. And the setup really around this track, you really want to have the setup which gives you the confidence to fully commit around Albert Park, because it requires a lot of speed in some of the corners, and there are some heavy braking zones as well. There is a difficult traction zone around turn 4 as well. Sometimes I lose it as well. I set time to bin it in the wall. Well, now that's where probably people lost it in qualifying. There are no for some safety cars, which hopefully do not happen around here. And we'll keep an eye on the strategy. So we've got around about 6 to 7 lap window for the hard compounded softer hards, and 9 to 11 for the mediums. Now, I don't think they're going to do soft to mediums. It's hardly likely that's going to happen. So it is going to be like softer hards for them, as Red Matt unfortunately has left the session. So hopefully he can join back soon, because otherwise he won't be able to join us, which will be a bit of a shame. Has missed quite a few races. But we should see what happens. Still quite sunny again in Melbourne, which is always good. And it was kind of a bit of a giveaway as 2 people in the top 10 qualified their car on the medium compound tyres. Don't forget that the top 10 will have to start on the tyres that they set their fastest lap on. And if it was a wet start to the race, probably most people would have been qualifying on the soft compound tyres. So we're just waiting for the drivers to get their setup on. Well, they've already got their setup, but really for the drivers to get their strategy sorted as well. And Lewis Hamilton's pole lap was quite crazy in 2018. And it was an average of 235 kilometres an hour. The lap record around here, race-wise, was Michael Schumacher with a 124.1. I'm sure we're going to beat that tonight. And Damon Hill actually won the first race in 96, which is the year where he actually won the championship, which was nice to see. Valtteri Bottas won a few years ago, 2019. A couple of years ago, actually. Sometimes the guy that wins the Australian Grand Prix never goes on to win the championship, which was the case in 2019. We are going to get the Australian Grand Prix, hopefully, in November. To be honest, a weird place to have it. Because it gets, well, it will be quite hot, actually, then. Because, obviously, it is, when the Australian Grand Prix is usually held, it's usually held in the summertime. So, should be intriguing to say the least. But it might get cancelled because there have been some doubts in the news. I've read some articles about it, and it was just, but it's a long way to go. There's no point doing anything about it now, but we shall see as we're about to get underway with the formation lap. And we'll see what tyres people outside the top 10 will be going on to. And we have all 16 cars on the grid. Unfortunately, Red Matt, did not join in time, I don't believe. So that's a bit of a shame. But let's look at the drivers outside the top 10. I don't need the lap data. That could go away. Right. So, quite a mixed bag. Apart from, actually, quite equal. Apart from the 2 drivers that are on the sauce, which is Lee and Ahmed outside the top 10. Everybody else, which is Yuri, Tony, Acorn, and Ryan, they are on the mediums. We're going to keep a close eye on Matta and Jamie, who are on the mediums. I wonder if we're going to be doing mediums to hard or mediums to soft. Now, quick reminder, Glock, J-Luke, and Kyle will be doing the 2-stop. I thought Jamie would have gone for the soft because he's on the 2-stop today. Soft, medium, soft, but I'm guessing he's a little bit more comfortable on the mediums. He was comfortable on the mediums on his lap anyway. So we should see what happens. He's filling in for one of the red cars. I believe that's Kev he is filling for at this moment in time. Now the team's championship is very, very crucial as well. Not just the drivers. Because if they're out of the championship fight for the drivers, all their focus now is going to be for the teams. But I assume it's only like 2 teams that actually 3 or 4. I think the only one that mathematically is out of the fight, unfortunately, is Team Rad. But everybody else, all the teams, could be still in it. Pink will need a miracle tonight, but they've only got 2 drivers. Actually, no, they've got 3. They've got Niels, Brandon, and Yuri. Wait, hold on. Let's check who's in pink again. Yeah, because Red Matt's not here. So they almost got their full squad. So we're about to get started then. 29 laps are ahead of us. I'm excited for this one. Usually it's known for the drama at the start of the season in real life in terms of league racing. Obviously, since it's towards the end of the season, it may provide a different atmosphere, but we don't know. We don't have a clue. So, we're about to get underway. And here we go then. It may be a long hold, but we'll find out very, very shortly. The 5 red lights are coming on. 2 blue cars on the front row. Let's see what they could do off the start line. And it is lights out and away we go. Let's see who has the best start. It is, I believe, Panos who makes the run towards turn 1. Or it may be Carl, actually, into P1 as well, going side by side. That's a great launch from Panos, actually, as well. They both go side by side into turn 2 and 3. We got Glock as well, right in the middle of this, and P as well. So we've got 2 yellow cars versus 2 blue cars. 2 of them directly involved in this championship as well. A few contact for some of the drivers. 2 of the pink cars actually fighting side by side as well. Pink really needs some good points too. I don't think there's much damage actually, maybe apart from, I don't know, one of the, I think Newgarden has dropped a little bit from the rest of the field, so he may have picked up minor damage or he must have spun or something. So it's Carl that leads, Glock in at second, Panos in third, Pete in at fourth position. We still have someone going side by side in the background. I'm trying to catch up who that is, but as a lot of drivers are very close. Carl is really pulling away right now, which is what he needs in this circumstance. As they all make their way towards turn 13, we've got Brandon trying to defend from Lee. Keeping very, very close together. So far, no major incidents, but I won't be surprised if Newgarden goes into the pits. As we're not on, we weren't on lap 2. We were on lap 1, but we're now on lap 2. Unfortunately, the game shows a bit of yellow flags. So let's see what we could do with, I think the main battle potentially that could happen is the midfield around here, with Lee already picking up a penalty. I wonder what time penalty he has got. I think that may just be a 3-second one that he got at the start of the race. So it might be a warning. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll have to double check on that one. Still going to be a DRS train in the next lap also, so if they're out of DRS range, they're going to be a lot of trouble. Glock will need to get within that 1 second, which is just about. But he needs to gain a couple of attempts in order to be safe, because otherwise he's going to have the likes of Panos, who's in that DRS, really start to attack him. Panos unfortunately got overtaken by Glock, but maybe for him, for his benefit, it would be for the best. As we've got blue, yellow, green, pink, red. I'm talking about the teams here. Pink, yellow, red, green. We've got quite a mixed bag as well, as Carl sets the fastest lap so far, so he's already pulling away quite significantly. And Panos, I think, has dropped out of DRS zone. Yes, he has, which is not the best in the slightest. And if I was Glock right now, I'll be thinking, yippee! I don't need to worry about this at the moment. But Glock, because of this, Glock has found a few attempts on Kyle. So at the next detection point, which will be towards the start of turn 11 before you get to the DRS zone of turn 12 and 13. So basically, technically, the start of sector 3 is where potentially it will be. And we got Jamie, who was a little bit closer to Niels on that lap. This is a very big train we could see from the drivers. I wonder if some teammates are going to be working together to really benefit from this. Jamie almost went a bit wide there. The only one that does not have DRS is Niels, and we got a retirement of Ahmed, and that is turn 12. And I believe we have a safety car. Yes, we do have a safety car. So I wonder if some of the drivers will be going into the pits now. Kyle did the right thing there. It is a free pit stop for him. One of his first stops. If I were Glock and Jamie, I would do exactly the same. So he goes on to the medium sides, and Niels, not where he wants to be right now. He has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So let's see where everybody else comes out. Panos stays out, and so does Pete, Mata, Akon, Yuri, Tony, and Ryan. And that's it. Everyone else has gone into the pit. So basically all of the people that were on the 2-stop have pitted for their first stop. So they got it out of the way. And the average pit lane lost time, 22 seconds. So I would say 18, 17 seconds under safety car conditions. So it won't take too long for the field to catch up because they were all relatively close together anyway. And if people had any 5-second penalties, it gave them an opportunity for them to clear them as well. So I wonder, the ones who have still yet to make their stops, will they probably be regretting it? Quite a few, some people on the mediums actually either went on to another 7 mediums or the hards. But there's 5 people that have stayed out. I'm interested to see why Panos and Pete have stayed out. What is their reasoning behind it? Do you think that they could try and get the softs on long enough so maybe they could do a soft to medium strategy? It could work. But we will see. Their tyres, though, are going to be absolutely awful at the end of their stint. So we'll keep an eye on them. Unfortunately, on this game, we cannot see the tyre wear, which is something I've been wanting on the game for ages. Cody's, if you're listening to this broadcast at the moment, please implement the fuel mixture and tyre wear in again. Because I think that was in F1 2017. But we will find out sooner or later. So it is Pete that's leading. Unfortunately, Panos is, I think, it shows that he's P1, but he is not. So it's going to take a while for him to catch up, actually. What is going on? It's very, very weird. Because it's gonna probably one of the main glitches I've ever seen. The chat, I'm looking at what's in the PlayStation chat as well. So I don't know what's going on, but hopefully, because I don't know. Did he pass the safety car? I really don't know. So Panos just needs to wait. He just needs to wait for everyone else to get past, because otherwise it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And he has been warned that he will be punished severely if he does not do that. And he is asking what to do. So I'm a bit confused with what he has to do, to be honest. But he's going at a delta speed, I believe, as well. Like, he's a lap ahead of everybody. Like, it's an absolute nightmare. Oh, Cody's. So, and I think the safety cars come in as well. So, all will be up for Pete to control the field. And I think Panos has just realised what has happened. Still don't know what's going to happen. But let's just see then. I wonder if everyone has to lap Panos. That is intriguing. But anyway, we're underway then, as we're still going side by side into turn 1 between Akon and Yuri. A bit late on the brakes as well, but they all seem to be keeping it relatively clean so far. As there's someone that's in the wall. That is Niels, who's in the wall on the hard tyres. The only driver that has gone onto the hard tyres and had his race unfortunately ruined. And he is forced to be let back through. And you can see that, ignore the gap at the front, that's non-existent right now. until the game fixes itself, which probably will not do that. But anyway, Yuri had a nice battle with Akon, got past into P4. DRS won't be activated until lap 9. You can see Kyle trying to get on the inside of Akon there. Couldn't quite do it into turn 13. Stays behind at the moment. Glock trying to do exactly the same with Ryan as well. And Niels has picked himself a 3-second time penalty. Let's see what Mata could do past Pete then. Most people have already made their stops already. Pete still yet to make one. So Pete may be potentially going to be at a disadvantage compared to his other rivals, even though some of them have gone the mediums, which probably won't make it until the end of the race. And you never know, there could be another safety car in our midst, which could really start to shake things up a bit. And Panos, if I were you, I would probably wait until everyone else gets past, and then you should be able to catch up potentially. I don't know. But anyway, Jamie gets past Glock. Or Glock's trying to get past Jamie. I don't know. No, Jamie's got past Glock. He's on the soft. So he started doing a medium soft strategy. And then he's going to go on to softs again. Or another 10 mediums. I don't know. But Glock with the best traction out of the corner. One of the most difficult traction zones as he's almost hit Ryan. Thank goodness he did not. Because otherwise it would have been a disaster. Side by side here. Great move from Glock, but it didn't really help him. Jamie almost hit the back of him there. That could have been a recipe for disaster if that did not end well. Luckily, Panos is now on the same lap as everybody else. So he's followed my advice, which is great to see, as we've got some more moves at the back, and someone has just spun again, which unfortunately is Lee. Luckily, ghosting is on, so he is able to get his car pointed in the right direction without fighting other drivers. But he will probably have to go to the pits about him, maybe go on to the hards. He's not on the 2-stop strategy today. It will get him until the end of this race. Meanwhile, we got Jamie on the inside of Ryan. Nice and easy. I'm in the 7th place. Yuri does the same on Kyle up into 4th. But I know Kyle is hungry. He's on the fresher tyres. He's stuck in the sandwich with people that have been on the medium since the very start. And Kyle knows that his championship rival is in front of him, and he's not on the 2-stop. Unfortunately, Newgarden has retired, and that is another turn 12 calamity, I think. Yes, it is. Which is a shame. I don't think it'll be the last person who will get caught in that. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead. Side by side into turn 1. Pete doesn't get the better of panels this time. Two of them off in team speed. So we'll see then. DRS, not yet. As we head towards turn 3 and then heading into turns 4 and 5. Neil's not doing very well, is he? He keeps getting speeding penalties. That is not good. I believe he had to serve one, and then obviously you'll have to serve another one if he pits again. So, Jamie almost going for a massive send there. I wonder if he's going to try and turn 9. We'll see. Let's have a look from Jamie. Nope, he's going to be patient at the moment. You can see Akon pulling away. We got Glock as well up into 7. Where did he come from? Glock, that was amazing from him. Imagine what Glock would have been like if he was there at the start of the season. He would have probably definitely been in championship contention. I'm almost certain of it. 2 tenths now is the gap. Jamie's tyre is probably at the risk of being very, very hot at the moment due to the dirty air that's being caused. 36% is ERS right now. which is not ideal considering Glock is on more. Meanwhile, Kyle gets past Yuri into turn 1. Quite good for him, but can Yuri fight back? We'll have to find out. Is he going to look on the inside? No, he's a little bit too further back to do so. Brandon gets past Ryan up into 11th. Don't forget, the top 12 score points today. A lot of people in the chat I was asking earlier about how everyone was feeling about tonight's race. Quite a lot of people don't like this track, and I can understand why, due to the fact that it could be prone to many incidents, which we've seen already. As Brandon goes for another look around the inside. Can he make it stick, which he does? We've got Ryan Berry also going for the move on Tony in the straight heading towards turn 10. And then into the kink of 11 and 12. Easy does it, goes a Team Red driver. But is Tony going to fight back? Almost being pushed off the circuit. And Tony goes off. I think he took a big gamble and it did not pay off. So Tony is down into 12th position. We did see some more battles happening at the front, I believe. Glock is chasing down Acorn for 6th position. Only 5 drivers have got penalties so far. And it is known for picking loads of penalties. Here comes Glock. Which way is he going to look? Left, right, maybe left? I don't know. He's not going to look anywhere just yet. He's just going to be patient, because sometimes patience is a virtue here at VSL. Heading to turn 7 and into the kink of turn 8 coming up now. I don't really call it turn 8 really, but it may be that I got the corner in names wrong. As there's almost a bit of a touch there. Oh! I hope that wasn't damage. I swear to God. If so, one of them will have to bid, but I think Jamie's going to probably overtake Glock, maybe due to revenge. He is angry. I can tell by his driving. And that means he wants to push that much harder to get past Glock. He doesn't look on the right-hand side into 14. But how about into turn 15? Is he going to have another look into the final corner? We've got Pete and Panos. They're going to do their final stop, well, their first and only stop, actually. But let's watch Jamie. He's not close enough, but Glock is very close to Acorn. Oh, these guys. They're getting so close to each other that one small tap may cost them this race. Here comes Glock to the left-hand side of Acorn. Can he hold his line? He does, up into 4th position. Jamie can sense a chance to get past Acorn here. For Jamie's sake, he knows that he's faster than Acorn. And he's like, oh, I want to get a move done now. Almost hit the grass once again. So now another opportunity. He's going to have another look to the right-hand side. He goes. And I think they keep it on the track. I thought they almost hit each other, but thank goodness they didn't. So, past turn 10. And I always get the corner names mixed up. I do apologise. But anyway, it looks like Glock has the edge now. A second pulled away from Jamie. And Glock is having a very good race so far, I have to say. He's one of my drivers of the day as Mata goes into the pits for his one and only stop. I wonder if the staying out one extra lap could help him a little bit. And he goes on to... Wait, the softs? Let me do some maths. Could the softs make it that long? According to my data, only lasts 12 laps. And how many laps have we got left? 16. That is a risk. Unless he's doing a 2-stop. Because he's not scheduled to do the 2-stop this week. I'm intrigued. Very intrigued. Because I know Jamie will go on for an extra few laps, so we could potentially go on to the softs. Or maybe go on to some mediums. Jamie's now in 4th position. Carl is still your race leader with Glock in 2nd. You're really having a good race so far. I don't want to jinx people too much, guys, because I remember jinxing people quite a lot in the last race, and we know what's happened. People just ended up having instant after instant and after instant, and yeah, that is not ideal. And meanwhile, Brandon's gone into the pits for his first stop. That means Ryan Barry could have some chance to get past M. Ryan potentially. Let's see what his ERS is looking like. 27, 40%. So M. Ryan probably has the one to lose in terms of tyre wear, but he's going to have the most to gain on his ERS. So in terms of tyre wear, I'm not really that surprised that Ryan Barry has got the move done and made it stick there. So Ryan Barry having to sit for how much longer? M. Ryan's looking like he's going to fight back for all his might here. And there was an incident last week where he has got 10 seconds added to his final race time in Australia. So where he finishes means nothing here unless people have significant amount of penalties, which probably will not happen. So he's just fighting for glory at the moment on track. No one that close at the moment, unless you're Jamie, because we haven't talked much about the tyre degradation, the tyre deltas between the two tyres, the softs and the mediums. 1 second, just about 1.1, I would say, between the softs and the mediums. So Jamie has got the most to lose from this situation, more than Yuri. Because if he doesn't get past now, he's going to have a nightmare later on in the race. And he's probably listened to my word of advice as he gets past Yuri. Nicely does it. So Jamie is up into 3rd. And I wonder if Akon could be like, hang on. He can see that Yuri's struggling. There's going to be 3 more laps before the medians get past the sell-by date, but don't forget there was a safety car. Yuri could send another look into turn 10, which he does not. And I think Akon was ready there to pick up the pieces, because if Yuri failed with that move, he could be like, hang on, I can make the move. So he could potentially get it here. So we've got Yuri then. A little bit further back on Jamie, but what about Akon then? Maybe not. So I think the racers sort of start to settle down in terms of moves, but you never know. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Lap 16 and 29, Kyle still leads. He's still yet to make his 2nd stop. And he is saving all his might so he could go on to the soft compounder tyres. And I won't be surprised if Glock does exactly the same thing. Maybe Jamie as well, because don't forget the safety car. So the top 3 could go on the softs at the end. So this could be game on. And Yuri will need to pit. Akon will need to pit. Potentially Ryan Barry as well. Yeah, he will potentially. Massa, it's a bit of a risk on whether he's going to make those soft tyres to the end. So this could be an interesting race in terms of strategy. Meanwhile, Panos on the hards. It's looking like he's going to get past Tony very soon. I think the delta between the old mediums versus the new hards is probably in favour of the hards that Panos is currently on. And that showed as he gets past into turn 10. Panos into 8th position. Will he find the strength that he needs to get past Mata? Remains to be seen. But Mata is coming alight on those soft tyres. But again, he will struggle in the end. So I think Panos just needs to stay within these drivers in order to stand a chance. And look at that. Oh! It is a heavy traction zone, so Tony did lose it there as he tried to get past Panos. He tried for a look, but Panos made a mistake. I think Panos let Tony through there, which is good sportsmanship, or did Panos make a mistake? I don't know, but if Panos did let Tony through on purpose, good on him. Good on him there. So Tony up into 8th position, but bearing in mind there could be some penalties. Or maybe Panos let Tony through because he has more penalties. I don't know. But we shall see then. This could be a lively battle between these two. I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. But if it gets within 1 second, then I'll probably jinx myself. And if I do, then I do apologise. And you can see the train growing and growing, with Pete also in this train as well behind Panos. And don't forget, Panos and Pete were fighting at the beginning of the race. Both of those drivers chose to stay out of pitting during the safety car. Who knows? Potentially, there could be another safety car. But you can see Tony dives it, tries to have a dive and have a look on the right-hand side then. Pete's probably going to just sit patiently, take a back seat out of all of this. And he's going to go for a send it. Oh, this almost ended very wrong. Tony goes into the grass there. Tony goes into the pits, which is understandable. So does Yuri as well. So is everybody going to go onto the soft tyres? Yuri does. What about Tony? Tony goes on to the softs. So what does that mean for the ones that still yet to stop? Kyle. Will he pit now for the undercut and respond to these guys? Or will he stay out for a few more laps? We shall see. But Niels is not giving up, which is great to see in the background. 3/10 is the gap now between Akon and Jamie. So fair play to Jamie for keeping those tyres on for so long. I would want to see what Jamie's tyres are on right now in terms of tyre wear. I'm almost certain it would have been, I would say, in the 70% margin. It's got to be. It's got to be. But Jamie's not giving up. He's trying to keep Akon behind him. Some good defensive work from J-Luke. Now heading towards turn 14 now. And I wonder if Jamie is going to take the bounce and go into the pit lane. Doesn't look like it. All those drivers are staying out. What happened to Kyle? Did Glock have a spin? Or it may just be me. It may have just been the lobby playing up. But I literally do not know what happened. A minute I thought Kyle was like teleported or something, strangely. But I don't know. Very, very hard to tell. Hopefully it's not my internet. Anyway, Yuri is now in 9th position. Pete can make those tyres work until the end, so he could be on course to be winning this race. Same with Panos, but Pete will have the advantage of the tyre life more than anything, so maybe potentially Pete could be on for the win of this race if he gets past Panos, but it will be easier said than done. We could see a similar situation what happened in Monaco, where Lewis's old mediums, even though it was old and he was struggling, he still managed to take the win. And here comes Yuri on Ryan. Yuri's fresher tyres helped him beautifully into turn 10. And he's up into 8th place. I don't know who's got the fastest lap so far, but I will double check that in a moment. Meanwhile, Glock goes in on the soft tyres and then he comes out. Where is he going to end up? I don't know. So Kyle, I think, will have to go in this lap, because otherwise he's going to lose so much time with the undercut. But maybe because of the gap he had before the pit stops, it probably would have not mattered potentially. But we will see as the race goes on. Don't forget, if you are liking the stream so far, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when to catch a stream with us next. And we got Ryan that got us away with the back of Brandon. And Brandon having a look again. Almost a dive bomb, but Brandon, oh God. This is very close stuff. Who said you can't overtake there? But they are proving us wrong. It could be 3 wide. One of them will have to concede here. I think Jamie had to back off just a little bit. Jamie's on the memes, actually. We got 2 people going side by side here. We got 2 people going side by side in the background. Let's only don't go side by side there. It could go horribly wrong. Don't forget the curbs as well. Luckily, it could have ended a lot worse. Some more taps from these drivers. They're going very aggressive here. I hope one of them does not crash because that could horrendously end their race. Meanwhile, more people in the pits. Ryan Berry in the pits on softs. So is Carl as well. And he's just got ahead of Glock. But for how much longer? Glock comes to the left-hand side. Carl defends to the right. Who is going to give way? Who's going to have the position on the track? Only one way to find out. And it is Glock who takes position on track. He is P2. Meanwhile, Jamie gets position of Ryan up into 7th position. Fair play to Jamie though. Jamie has got no penalties. I need to check if everybody who's meant to 2 stop has done 2 stops. Yes, yes, and yes. So all good. So no one will be disqualified for that. So that's good news for that. Because don't forget the top from the 3 for the last race will have to make their 2 stops. We could see a move from Pete here potentially as well. No, I think he's just waiting. I think he's just waiting to the last possible moment. He's probably thinking, you know what? If I could keep by Panos to near the end of this race and then possibly challenge him at when he least expects it, then he has the less time to respond. Or maybe he wants to stay within DRS range. So here comes Pete then. Again, not deciding to go for the move. Matter goes into the pits. So it's Glock that leads from Kyle. Yuri just about gets ahead of Matter. And Jamie as well. Let's see with Jamie's warmer tyres. Could he have the edge against Matter? But a delta between the softs and the memes, like I said earlier on in the stream, is around about 1 second. So Matter, I think, will start to fall away very, very soon. So do not be surprised. 6/10, yeah, it's getting to that stage now, isn't it? So I think everybody's made 2 stops, I believe, apart from Akon, Ryan, Tony, Panos, and Pete. So a lot more people than expected. Again, probably the safety car triggered quite a lot of people to go in quite early as well. Nice if you're in the chat. Caesar, I think that's how you say your name, or says it. I don't even know. Let me know how you pronounce your name. He's rooting for Brandon. Unfortunately, he's made 3 stops. Not doing quite so well. Up in last place, but there could be penalties to be decided. Don't forget, Ryan has got 10 seconds to be added after the race. Ryan Berry gets past him. So we are pretty much on lap 23 now. Paddles is almost closing up to the top 2 actually, which to be fair is really, really good. Don't forget, next week we've got an absolute classic race. We are going to be going to a Bahrain doubleheader for the next 2 weeks for the final 2 rounds. We've got Bahrain next week and then Bahrain short. Honestly, I'm probably looking forward to that the most, more than anything. And I wonder what these drivers will have to say about it. Maybe they'll probably be sick of it after one race. Quite a lot of drivers do not like Bahrain short, but as a commentator, it's absolutely fantastic. But more about that in 2 weeks' time when we head to the championship finale. To be honest, this season has gone so fast. It's been absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, Matter wants to gain as many positions as he can because he knows His championship rival is in P2, so the more positions Mata gains, the better. So here we go. Mata gets past Yuri, which was absolutely vital for the Team Green car. Up into 5th position he goes. He's also got no penalties either, same with Glock and Kyle and Jamie. So some of these guys could definitely jump on the order. Sorry if I have to move my mic a little bit. I do apologise about that one. And is anyone insanely close at the moment? Maybe M. Ryan. I'm just looking at the penalties now. Actually, I'll give you a quick update. So Panos is on 6 seconds. P's on 3. Yuri's on 6. Ryan Berry's on 3. Akon's on 3. M. Ryan's on 6. Tony's on 6. Lee's on 9. Neil's is on 12. And Brandon is on 6 as well. So, luckily they're not in the range of disqualification, but they've got to be careful. If they get more penalties, then it could jump them way down the order. I don't think it's going to be a last-minute safety car, but you never know with this game. It does like to play quite a few tricks sometimes. And 60% battery of M. Ryan, so he's doing very well with his battery. Tony on 29. Akon on 6. Now, we must have used a lot to try and defend from the guys behind, but there's not many laps to go this race, so a chance of him saving quite a bit of ERS with having M. Ryan chase him down is probably going to be difficult. Meanwhile, M. Ryan is in the pit, so is he going for fastest lap? I don't blame him, to be honest, but because fastest lap, no matter where you are, get yourself 2 points, and he wants to make sure that he gets that, because he knows that the 10-second penalty that he got from the stewards due to his incidents last week would cost him tonight. So he feels like, you know what, let me go for fastest lap. I have nothing else to fight for. He has no damage either, so. Glock still leads this race. I believe it'll be his... Let me just check. Because he won in Canada last week, and he's going to win again in Australia. And it'll be another P2 for Carl as well. So where would that put Glock if it was to end now? That would put him, I need to remember how many points people score, but that would almost put him, I would say, P4 in the standings, which, to be fair, is pretty good for Glock, considering he only joined midway through the season. But more battles to be heard around this track. Tony gets past Akon. I think the lack of ERS from Akon is definitely hurting him, especially on these straights here, where Tony is just gaining so much on Akon. Ryan Berry with that 3-second time penalty. Again, so Ryan Berry is now up, has 6 seconds. Let me just get the tyres up for you as well, just to give you an idea. So a majority of people on the softs, apart from Panos, who's on the hards, Pete's on the mediums, and Jamie on the mediums as well. Pete is not... He doesn't look like he's going to get past Panos anytime soon. So maybe Panos' decision on going onto the hard compounded tyres was probably, I would say, the best decision to be on at the moment. Yuri picked it up 3-second time penalty too. So that leaves 3 drivers to not pick up penalties, because Jamie picked up one as well. To be honest, I think I usually tend to pick up penalties here. Mainly I would say turn 7. Maybe I would say turn 4 and 5. I go a bit too wide, but you know, it is quite easy to invalidate around here, so I'm not that surprised. So, number 66 car of Pete. I think positions could stay as they are, but what could change is this guy, Jamie, who, don't forget, is filling in tonight. That was a bit late on the brakes once again. He looks committed, does Jamie. But sometimes you got to have a setup that looks committed, and I think that's what Jamie's doing right now. Getting past turn 7 now. Using all the track that he could possibly get at this moment in time. He may take more risks heading towards the end of this race, but not now, I would say. Not now. So 2 attempts again. Does Jamie and Yuri. So could Jamie go for the lunge? I would say he's got to go for the lunge here, surely. Does he do it? No, he does not. And I'm sure Yuri will have something to say about that if Jamie tries for a move later on. On lap 28 now. We could see a battle for the win. Carl is, I think, running out of DRS on Glock. So, as in, he's not still not in at the detection point. So, within 1 second. So we'll see then. Here comes Jamie. He's got to stay committed, which he does. To the left he goes. And he's up into 5th. Meanwhile, Matter gets past Pete, up into 4th, past into turn 7. I don't see many people make moves around there, so good job on him. Shame I didn't caught much on stream because there was plenty of battles going on at this moment in time. And penalties could decide everything. Akon goes for the fastest lap, and he doesn't want to have Emran or someone else getting that fastest lap. So he thought, you know what? I could get it. He's still going to get points anyway because he's in 12th, but... And everyone else around him has probably got the same amount of penalties. We could have a battle on our hands, lads. 7 tenths is the gap between Carl and Glock. He's been saving all of his fuel for this very moment. I almost said merry moment, which is not the best sentence, but I'm guessing the drivers are feeling very tense now, not happy, so. But anyway, I think Carl is going to hope that Glock makes a mistake. So Carl is just going to wait patiently. These are the only 2 drivers that are going to be fighting for the win. Yuri gets past Jamie once again into turn 1. Jamie will probably have another look, going side by side here. Before the DRS zone, Yuri still has the DRS zone, so can he have a look to the right-hand side? Jamie knows where Yuri was looking, and he's like, no, I'm having none of that. You're having none of that. That P6 is mine, but let's draw our attention back to the battle. Carl is using his DRS while Jamie is close enough. Glock just has the best straight line speed. I don't think Carl's going to get the win. I think he saved it for a bit too long. It may be too little too late for the Team Blue car, but at least he'll still extend his lead. So here comes Glock then across the line. Glock wins in Australia for round 14. Kyle comes across the line in 2nd. And Panos won't get P3 because of penalties. So it'll be Matter that will get P3. And then there will be Panos P4. No, P4. And we got Lee and Tony having a little bit of a battle there for P9. But let's watch the cars come across the line. So we've got Jamie just gets P6 on the line. Ryan Berry in 7th. Yuri, due to penalties, has dropped down to 8th place. Here comes Lee and Tony to the line. It could be a photo finish. But Tony stays behind Lee. Lee's in 9th, but Tony jumps to 9th on penalties. And I don't know who's got fastest lap at the moment. It does belong to Glock currently. But can it be snatched from Ryan at the last second? No, not even close. I think the only person that could get it is Akon. But he needs to gain like 3 seconds. So let's see. 1:22.0. Ooh. So faster than Ryan, but not faster than Glock. Glock's just been on a hell of another level today. And I have to say, I've got to give my driver of the day to Glock. He didn't even start on pole and he went on to take the win. Shows how good of a racer he is with this caliber of drivers. So I'll say driver of the day for me has got to go to Glock. But I know you'll probably think different, but, you know. But anyway, we are going to get your results in. But we got Brendan Lee on the podium on the right-hand side. But that doesn't matter. Ryan, also known as Glock, takes victory once again. Can anyone stop him from the wins in the last few rounds? And once again, Kyle closes into Mata in the championship. Not by much, but still enough to keep the championship hopes alive, I believe. I'll have to do some maths, but I think the championship still remains alive. But Kyle will need to have a great race with Glock, with Mata having a rubbish one. But I want it to go down to the wire, so I hope it does. But anyway, Glock wins from Kyle, from Mata, from Pete, from Panos, from Jamie, from Ryan Berry, from Yuri, from Tony, from Lee. Then we got M. Ryan and Acorn takes the final point, with Glock taking the fast lap point as well. Niels, Brandon are your finishers with your two retirements, only two retirements actually, of Newgarden and Ahmed. I was expecting more, so fair play to everyone else for keeping it clean. And Panos won't get a penalty, I believe, because he did wait eventually, which was all good. So, I would say it was a pretty good race in terms of strategy. Lots of great moves as well, some very brave moves for some people. Some of them I didn't catch on stream, which I felt a bit guilty about. So, 2 more rounds to go. Still 2 drivers in the championship fight who will remain victorious. Will Mata take the championship next week in Bahrain? We'll have to wait and see. He won the championship last season. Will he be the champion this season? Will be revealed either next week or the week after. Anyway, quite a few people had a lot of fun around here in the chat, so that's good to see. So make sure you join us same time next week, 8 PM UK time, for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the normal version of the circuit this time. I've been Jess Games 95. Have a good evening and see you soon. Goodbye.